Mr. Weasley's car is standing empty in the branches of the middle of a circle of thick trees under a roof of dense branches. Its headlamps ablaze. As Ron walked, open-mouthed, towards it, moved slowly towards him, exactly like a large turquoise dog rooting its owner. "It's been here all the time," said Ron delightedly, walking around the car. "Look at it." The forest turned it wild. The window of the car was scratched and smeared with mud. Apparently, it had taken to trundling around the forest on its own. Who could feel him quivering, his breath slowing down again. Harry stuffed his wand back into his robes. "And we thought it was going to attack us," said Ron, leaning against the car and patting it. "I wondered where it had gone." Harry squinted on the floodlit ground for signs of spiders, but they had scuttled away from the glare of headlights. "We've lost trail." Ron didn't speak. He didn't move. His eyes were fixed on a point some 10 feet above the first floor, right behind Harry. His face was livid with terror. Harry didn't even have time to turn around. There was a long, loud clicking noise, and suddenly he felt something long and hairy seize him around the middle and lift him off the ground, so that he was hanging face down. Struggled, terrified. He heard more clicking and saw Ron's legs leave the ground too. Heard Fang whimpering and howling. Next moment, he swept away into the darkness. Head hugging, Harry saw that what had hold of him was marching on 6 immensely long hairy legs, the front two clutching him tightly below a pair of shining black pincers. Behind him, he could hear another of those creatures. "No doubt," carried Ron. They were moving into the very heart of the forest. Harry could hear them fighting to free himself from the third monster, whining loudly. But Harry couldn't have yelled, even if he wanted to, because his voice seemed to be left back with the car in the clearing. Craning his neck, he saw that what had been the rim of vast hollow. A hollow which had been clearing of trees, so the stars shone brightly onto the worst scene he had ever flapped eyes upon. Spiders! Not tiny spiders. Gigantic spiders. Spiders the size of cart horses, 8-eyed, 8-legged, black, hairy, gigantic. The massive specimen that was carrying Harry made its way down the steep slope towards a misty domed web in the centre of the hollow, while its fellows closed in all around it, clapping their pincers excitedly. Harry went to all floors. Ron and Harry found himself down next to him. Foul went hanging by the carrying slightly on the spot. Harry suddenly realised the spider which had dropped him was saying something. It was hard to tell because he clicked his pencil with every word he spoke. Aragog! It called Aragog. And from the middle of the misty domed web, a spider, the size of a small elephant, emerged slowly. There was a grey in the black of his body and legs, and each of his eyes on his ugly pincered head was milky white. He was blind. What is it? He said, clicking his pincers rapidly. Men, clicked the spider who had caught Harry. Is it Aragog? Strangers, clicked the spider who had brought Ron, killing them. Clicked Aragog fretfully. I was sleeping. We're friends of Hagrid, Harry shouted. His heart seemed to have left his chest to pound in his throat. Kick, click, kick went the pincers of the spiders all around the hall. Aragog paused. Hagrid had never seen men into our hollow before, he said slowly. Hagrid's in trouble, said Harry, breathing very fast. That's why we've come. In trouble, said the aged spider, and thought he heard concern beneath the clicking pincers. But why? So he spoke from the ground as calmly as he could. They think up at the school that Hagrid's have been setting something on students. They've taken him to Azkaban. Aragog clicked his pincers furiously, and all around the hollow the sound was echoed by the crowd of spiders. It was like an applause, instead applause that didn't usually make Harry feel sick with fear. But that was years ago, said Hagrid. Said Aragog fretfully. Years and years ago, I remember it well. That's why they made him leave the school. They believed that I was a monster that dwells in what they call the Chamber of Secrets. They thought that Hagrid had opened the Chamber of Secrets and set me free. And you didn't come from the Chamber of Secrets, said Harry, who could feel cold sweat on his forehead. I, said Aragog angrily, was not born in the castle. I came from a distant land. A traveller gave me to Hagrid when I was an egg. Hagrid was only a boy, but he cared for me. hidden in a cupboard in the castle, feeding me on scrapes from the table. Hagrid is my good friend and a good man. When I was discovered and blamed for the death of a girl, he protected me. I have lived here in the forest ever since, where Hagrid still visits me. He even found me a wife, Mosag. And now see how our family has grown, all through Hagrid's goodness. Harry summoned what remained of his courage. So you never attack anyone, never, cried the old spider. I would have been my instincts, but from respect of Hagrid, I never harmed a human. The body of the girl who was killed was discovered in the bathroom. I never saw any part of the castle but the cupboard in which I grew up, outlined like the dark and the quiet. But then, do you know what did attack the girl? Because whatever it is, it's back and attacking people again. His words were drowned by a loud outbreak of clicking and the rustling of many long legs shifting angrily. Large black shapes shifted all around him. The thing that lives in the castle, said Aragog, is an ancient creature we spider fear above all others. Do I remember? I pleaded to let me go when I sensed the beast moving about urgently. What is it? Said Harry. More loud clicking, more rustling. The spiders seemed to be closing in. We do not speak of it. We do not name it. I never even told Hagrid the name of that dread creature, though he asked me many times. Hagrid seemed to be tired of talking. He was back slowly in his stoned work, but if the fellows continued to inch slowly towards Harry and Ron. We'll just go then. We'll go then, Harry called desperately to Aragog, hearing most of leaves. Go, said Aragog slowly. I think not. But my sons and daughters do not harm Harry at my command. I cannot deny them fresh meat when it wanders so willingly. Tell me goodbye, friend of Hagrid. Feet away, towering above them, was a solid wolf spider clicking, the many eyes gleaming in the ugly black head. Mr. Weasley's car was thundering down the slope. Headlamps glaring, torn screeching, knocking spiders aside. Several were thrown onto their backs, their endless legs waving into the air. Get Fang! One seized the bull hand and threw him yelping into the back of the car. The doors slammed shut. Ron didn't need to touch the accelerator, but the car didn't need him. The engine wouldn't, they were off hitting more spiders. They sped up the slow out of the horror, and they were soon pushing through the forest. Following a path they obviously knew. Harry looked sideways at Ron. His mouth was still in a silent scream, but his eyes weren't popping anymore. Are you okay? Ron stared straight ahead, unable to speak. The car stopped so suddenly that they had once nearly thrown into the windscreen. They'd reached the edge of the forest. Harry flung him out the window in the anxiety to get out. When Harry opened the door, he shot off straight the trees to Hagrid's house, tail between his legs. Harry got out here, and after a minute, Harry wanted to regain the feeling in his limbs, still stiff necks and staring. Harry gave the car a grateful pat as it reversed back into the forest, disappeared from view. Harry went back into Harry's cabin to get the invisibility cloak. He found Ron being violently sick in the pumpkin patch. Follow the spiders, said Ron weakly, wiping his mouth on his sleeve. Oh, never forgive Hagrid. We're lucky to be alive. I bet he thought Aragog wouldn't hurt a friend of his, said Harry. That's exactly Hagrid's problem. He always thinks monsters aren't as bad as they made out. And look where it's got him. A cell in Azkaban. He was shivering uncontrollably now. What was the point of sending us in there? What have we found out? I'd like to know. That Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets, said Harry, throwing the cloak over Ron and prodding him in the arm to make him walk. He was innocent. Ron gave a low thought. Evidently, hatching Aragog out in a cupboard with this idea of being As the castle loomed nearer, Harry touched the cloak to make sure their feet were hidden, then pushed out close. Harry fell onto his bed without bothering to get undressed. He sat on the edge of his roller coaster, thinking hard from everything Aragog had said. The creature was lurking somewhere in the castle, he thought. Sounded like a sort of monster Voldemort, even other monsters. Do you want to name it? But he and Ron were no closer to find what it was or how it petrified its victims. Even Hagrid had never known what was in the Chamber of Secrets. Harry swung his leg onto his pillow and leaned back against his pillows, watching the moonlight glinting out of his tower window. He couldn't see what else they could do. They had hit dead ends everywhere. Riddle had caught the wrong person. The hair of Slytherin had gone off, and no one could tell whether it was the same person or a different one. They had opened the chamber this time. There was nobody else to ask. He lay down, thinking about what Harry had said again. Ron, he hissed. Ron! Ron woke with a thumbs, staring wildly around and saw Harry. Ron, that girl who died. Ron woke with a yelp like fangs, stared wildly around and saw Harry. Ron, that girl who died. Hagrid said she was found in a bathroom, said Harry, ignoring Neville's snuffling snores from the corner. What if she never left the bathroom? What if she's still in there? Ron rubbed his eyes, frowning through the moonlight. Then he understood. You don't think not moaning Myrtle